So the construction and the submission of questionnaires, again, not anything brand new in terms of its actual, in terms of the application itself, but again, the possibilities in terms of the digitization of that activity are quite strong. Mostly in the exposure that you can have towards, in terms of people who you would question. So rather than in the normal analog classroom, you are almost limited by the cohort of your peers. There is a possibility using digital questionnaires to reach a much wider and more interesting audience. Also, particularly looking at different demographics and things like that. But also, as well as being on the receiving end, our students can partake in some quite important research by means of being familiar with digital questionnaires and so on. The construction of them, again, is quite interesting. The idea of students' synthesis and synthesizing interesting questions that will meet the answers they expect. There's something quite interesting about, and we'll all know about, how you forge questions and the sorts of questions that will lead to good and informative and rich answers, and the sorts of questions that will lead to the word no. So website and blog authoring. Once solely the preserve of web designers and things like that, I think the tools are now available, the software and the hardware are available now to create and design and populate websites and blogs in schools that maybe wasn't the case a few years ago. And again, I've talked about digital portfolios above. That is one way in which this can work, but also I think websites can be a deal more valuable to allow access for information for different students, whether it be contacting the outside world in terms of demonstrating what they do in particular sessions or things that they're proud of, or whether it's something a bit more rigorous where they are actually asked to explain to a certain cohort a part of their topic through the medium of a website. And as they become, and we become, more and more digital and more reliant on website-based communication, it would seem, it makes sense to me that we educate our students in how to deliver that sort of information. So again, if you're not already, using website and blog design in your subjects, if you're interested in it, again, tick the yes box for me.